What's good is Postman, Liveoffbeats.com. I'm here with a very special guest, one-on-one, exclusive. Y'all may not heard of him, but I'm gonna tell you, when I read his resume, or y'all may have seen him online, but trust me, he's somebody that you need to be looking out for. He's probably gonna be one of the biggest producers in the game at some point. That's what I believe, just from his work ethic. His music is banging. I've seen him grow from the beginning, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, all the way into now. And just to read off some of his credits, man, he's not just a guy that's selling beats online, man. That's one aspect of his business. But let's get into some of his credits, man. Now, it's long. You know, we got Young Thug, we got Rick Ross, Wiz Khalifa, Lil Wayne, Lil James, Rich Homie Quan, T Wayne, Cheddar the Connect, Petey Pablo, Yoda, Kid Red, Pablo Skywalker. I know you did a nice deal with the Money Team as well. And that's just the beginning, man. I feel like in the next coming years, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be one of the biggest producers in the game, just from what I see as far as work ethic, where you started from. And in this interview series, what I want to do is get producers out of the community one-on-one and put a spotlight, because I get a lot of producers like, man, is it possible? You know, I'm starting here. And I think a lot of times we see the producers online one-on-one that we see them already there, successful, but then we don't see like where they start from and how they got to that point. So what I wanted to do is start bringing producers in the community and say, okay, let's see, where did you start from and how did you get to where you're at? And then ultimately, you know, what's your vision going forward? You know what I mean? And you're a young guy. How old are you, one-on-one? You're a young guy too. 27 years old, man. Young guy, man. Still got a whole career ahead of him. And you built it from the ground up, man. So I come out of St. Louis, one-on-one. Why don't you tell them, like, you know, where you started? Oh, and let me shout out the site. It's hottrapbeats.com, correct? Yeah, hottrapbeats.com. So tell them, you know, where you started from the beginning. Like, when did you start making beats? And, you know, how did you fall into this whole world of making music?
Well, actually, my dad had a record deal when I was young. He actually was signed to an independent record label that was funded by a major label. So he got going tours and stuff. I got to see what he did when he was young. He actually was a DJ/producer for the group. So I actually got to watch him produce records for those guys growing up. And I used to always tell him, like, hey, you should put this in there and put a certain sound there, but he never did it. He just made the beats how he wanted to make them. So I took it upon myself when he would leave from his digital audio workstation. I would like sneak down there in the basement. I'll make music and stuff, and I actually got good at making beats. And once he came downstairs, he heard the music, and then from then it just like it took off, because he liked it what what he heard. Started putting money behind it. I always loved music though. I could like play piano by ear before all of this. So from that and from my pops making music, both of those matched together, and I just been making music since. Actually, not only for him, for like artists in the city that come through. But yeah, I started when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I've been doing this for over 15 years. My first beat and song was made when I was about 11 years old. And it just come from being in a family of musicians and stuff. I think that's what really helped.
That's amazing. So your dad is a producer. That's amazing. My dad is actually a guitar player and songwriter and everything. So I understand what you mean when you around it and you like get inspiration, but they ain't listening to you. You know, they're like, oh man, what you talking about, man? Get out of here. So I know what you mean. But you feeling it like, y'all, I got it. So that's hella dope, man, to come from that. And so what made you feel like, you know, pursuing it though? Because a lot of producers, you know, we start off, we love the music and we love making the beats. But as far as like a career choice, it's like it never, you know, we leave high school and then, you know, it's like, okay, well, let me go find out what my real career is going to be. You know, music is going to be a hobby thing. You know, what was that like for you when you decided, or, you know, how old were you when you decided, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to pursue the music thing, you know, the music production thing, as opposed to let me go find a different career and then do this on the side.
Well, see, naturally, I've always been recording. We had a recording studio in my basement since I was young, in grade school and stuff like that. So a lot of time, my dad used to let me use the equipment, and a lot of my friends that I went to school with used to come home and like they'll rap, he'll do songs. They actually used to come and I'll record them. That's when I learned how to record and stuff like that. And so for me, doing it a lot, it started getting on my dad nerves, my mom nerves. They used to always like, you're not making money off this. You need to be trying to make some money. You can't keep like bringing all these people in our house and you're not making no money and you need to get a real job and stuff like that. So just from me always bringing people home from school, recording, and then kicking them out, telling me like I need to like find something to do, a better way to make some money for myself. I started working a job. But meanwhile, while I was working a job, I actually got my first sale. One of my friends introduced me to somebody that was actually an upcoming independent artist at the time. And he gave me $100 for a beat. This is like, I was probably like 12, 13. No. This is probably, I was probably about 14, 15 on here when I had my first job. So when he gave me the 100, I was like, that was my first real sale right there. And I realized like I was working for $7 an hour at like minimum wage. And I realized like, man, if I can sell so many of these beats in a month, I make way more money than I did off of like working and stuff. So I just started taking it more serious, like really more serious. Like I locked in with the artist that gave me the first 100 and he started giving me more money for beats and stuff like that. And from working with him, he introduced me to a whole bunch of other artists. And it just like from there, like the artists that he introduced me to started respecting me just off of his name. And they were willing to pay me just based off his name. And I basically built my career solely off of one upcoming artist in my city. But from the money he gave me, I seen the possibilities from the rest of the world.
Okay, so you had one artist, like this is a local artist, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So and this is something I want to definitely kind of touch on with producers. Sometimes linking up with an artist, like we sell beats online and everything's anonymous pretty much, right? You get guys coming in, but also finding that artist or those group of artists that you really vibe with, you can make some dope music with, also can lead to opportunities and more money and things like that. And it's fun. You know what I mean? Like it's fun working with an artist. I think with the internet boom, one-on-one, we've kind of lost that essence of it. Like, just, like when you come home with your homies and you be in your makeshift studio, and you making the beats and hearing the songs, I think that energy, is important for you to continue, to grow as a producer and just to enjoy do what you love. I think we've gotten so anonymous. So I think that a lot of producers can learn from that. Find artists you believe in, whether it be locally. Local is always the best because, when you're teaming up with somebody, you're actually getting their vibe and you guys are building a relationship, but if you don't have anybody locally, you can find online, find some artists online that you believe in as well. And just get to work. And that'll really, I'm sure that helped fine tune your craft because your beats are hella dope, man. And so I'm sure that helped fine tune the craft.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. From the hours of us locking in the studio, they actually helped me learn what people are actually rapping on because these were the first artists that were actually using my beats. So they were actually letting me know how to structure them and make them sound to where they liked them. And once they used them and made good songs to them, everybody wanted to know, like, where are you guys getting this music from? And they weren't stingy with me. They were like, yeah, this is our producer right here. You can work with him. They were actually making money off me at the time too. Like we set it up to where like, okay, I charge maybe $50 for a beat, but he may tell the guy 75 or 100 just because of someone he know and give me what I want. So it was always good that I knew him because he helped me out. He had that hustler mentality before I had it myself.
Well, that's actually a good business principle. What he's talking about is, unknowing to you, you had like a referral program, affiliate program, where it's like, hey, you get $25 off a sale, so introduce me to. So that's something that, producers could use business-wise, think about, offering some type of a commission for people who bring artists to you that bring you sales.
And let me tell you something. He still does that to this day.
That's amazing.
To this day, it's been over 10 years. He still brings me people like, hey, I know a few people want to get some beats, and he knows what I charge to be able to, refer people. And and make him some money just off of me being his producer and knowing that I have good work that other people can use too.
And so and we're gonna move to how you got online and start working with these other artists. But really quickly, I want talk about like for somebody to be working with you for 10 years means that you had to have delivered, be a professional, and me knowing you're a professional. So talk about what that means in terms of like delivering, making sure you giving people the beats, and everybody's not gonna argue professional with you. People may not come to the studio on time, but what does that mean for you to always try your best to deliver as much as possible, and be like a professional, so people always come back to work with you?
Yeah, first and foremost, I always want to be honest, upfront, stay consistent, like have a catalog of work ready to present them when they do come to the studio. So I just don't be like twiddling my fingers or trying to make something on the spot when they get there. I have a few productions already ready. I actually liked the artist that I was dealing with at the time, so I used to go back and study, listen to his music, kind of make music that I feel like would fit his style. I was kind of predicting the future. Okay, if he got a part one to this, maybe I can make music that sounds similar to it, to where he can express himself even more on that particular level and stuff like that. Just as far as remaining professional, just being accessible first and foremost to your clients and stuff, because he call me a lot or text me. Just being accessible, really. I just pick up the phone, he call me, maybe I can't respond right away, I'll hit him back. It really isn't too much, in my eyes, when I feel like goes into doing this, because you just got to be upfront, cool, know what your plans are, your goals are for what you're trying to do, just hopefully the people that you work with, they link up, they see your vision.
That's amazing. Yeah, and like you said, man, it's almost like common sense, but it ain't always common, right? A lot of, you know what I mean? And especially in this industry, I hear a lot of, people behind the scenes say, I tried to get something from this producer, but then I can't contact them, or they disappeared, or now they want more money than what they said. It's just like a lot of stuff that you'd be surprised that, the clients are going through. I'm sure you've heard those stories when they deal with producers. You go, why would they do that? You know what I mean? Like, you're burning bridges when, this whole thing is about network. It's about having good name and relationships. So I find that that's important, and I see that it's worked well for you. Now, are you in your own? Do you have your own studio?
Yeah.
You got your own studio, and I just want to say that because I remember when you was telling me, this was a few years ago. That's a dream. Like of most producers, like to have their own studio, work out of their own studio.
Own studio. No.
and that. it look. That's like where you obviously like in the office part or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, man, and to be so young. But I remember you were telling me like you started like you was in your mom's living room or something, dreaming about this. And
yes, in the basement, just visualizing. I always wrote down my plans and goals and where I seen myself headed. I used to close my eyes and just really see me standing next to Drake and Gucci Mane, and me being in the studio with them, actually like putting that feeling in me of what it would be like if I was actually around these guys, only to eventually be touring with Drake in Future, saying through Floyd Summer 16 tour.
Wow, so you was on tour with Drake and Future?
Yes.
That's an amazing experience, man.
Yeah. Floyd actually invested in their Summer 16 tour a few years ago. And from me producing for his artist Lil James got to go like be backstage with them doing the concerts and stuff. And I was with James, so I got to meet, shake hands with Future, be on stage with him while he performed and everything.
Wow, and that's a true dream come true. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to reiterate the fact, this is you were just a kid in St. Louis with a dream into music. Like, 'cause I think, like I said, once they see you in that light, it feels like so out of reach. But you was just sitting there at one point, you know what I mean? Just like they were. You know what I'm saying?
I swear, I definitely swear, like for real. I used to sit and just put videos on YouTube. Hopefully they go viral, taking emails and spamming them out to people and stuff, like 500 emails and sending off, not even caring who was in the email, just like hopefully somebody would work with me and stuff like that. And just like, I'm not even gonna lie, just me doing that, my relentless pursuit of doing a bunch of shit just to get on it, it worked.
That's that's the next thing I want to transition to is, you know, how you got online. Because one thing I've noticed about you just over the years is that, you know, you always see out there, if you're running ads or you're on Facebook, like you're always getting the word out there. You're always promoting. So, you know, how did you transition from, you know, like that's a big jump. You know, you're kind of in your parents' basement, you know, you're making beats, you got this dream. Now you have this studio, you're online, you have this brand. Like how did you, and you've worked with all these artists, you've been on tour. So how did that like link us to like, okay, so you got beats, and how did you start to get online and sell them? And how did that process work for you? Like, how did you discover that?
I'm not even gonna lie, I know exactly what it was. I get off work, I'm in the basement, I'm at home in my mom's house in the basement. I type how to sell beats online because I'm not sure why I even had the desire to even want to sell beats online, but I'm pretty sure like get rich or something. So I put that in and I bullshit you not. Your video popped up. It was like you went by a chalkboard, like showing like all the ways that producers were being like all the money that was being generated solely off the producers' backs. And that opened my mind up. Like, it really opened my mind up to see, like, I can really get money out here for real. I always knew that I could sell beats from me working with the local guy. I just really never sold them online. So for me, using your information, it just took me where I needed to go. I'm not gonna lie. I watched that whole thing. It was like 30 minutes long, and it blew my mind. And I think you were selling a course at the bottom. I think it's Paychecks to Profits or something like that. That course changed my whole life. I never even looked. I don't look at life the same over just off of that because it just changed my mindset as far as like I could be making money off of the beats and getting real profit off of the stuff that I've been sitting on this whole time, or just been selling to local rappers and stuff. I could be taking these same beats and putting them in a system that I can really make money from the whole world. I will with it. Real with it.
Okay. So, and the video he's referencing actually is one of our top videos at Liveoffbeats. It's called Secrets Music Producers, Secrets the Music Industry Doesn't Want You to Know.
Yeah,
yeah. That's like that's our biggest video like to date. Like it still gets a lot of views, and we've had like some legendary producers that watched it and talked about it. It was an amazing video. It actually touched a lot of lives. And we just described how the foundation of a music production, you making a beat, actually fuels the economic engine of all these different industries, to the tunes of billions and billions of dollars that we don't think about, and so that when people say, well, is there a career in music production? A lot of times we go, well, that's not really a stable career. I say, but just look how much money it generates. It's always going to be around, because if it didn't, like, all the industries would crumble. So that's amazing that you start from that video. That makes me feel good knowing that, wow, that actually transformed, helped in the transformation of your.
Yes.
Yeah, and that course, Paychecks to Profits, that was the course where we talked about, going from, just kind of earning a paycheck to how do you start to create profit, and it's a different world, you know what I mean? The principles of that as a producer. So, what's the next thing? Did you start like a beat site? Like what did you start to do? Like to, so you found out, hey, the internet is a whole big world out here. And this was a while back. This isn't like today, like with all the beats. It's more popular now than I'm sure it was back then, right? Yeah. So how did you, what did you get? A beat site? Did you get online? Like what was your next steps? Like how did you start doing?
Yep, I got me a beat site. I always been on YouTube, so my YouTube views, I think I was in like 2 million views already. So I knew I could get a little traffic from my YouTube channel. So yeah, I ended up getting me a domain called hottrapbeats.com. I had hottrapbeats.com since I started. It's been, well, actually, it was 101music.net. I'm not even gonna lie, 101music.net. I got me a SoundClick, and what it was, I seen that like Superstar O and Vibe and all those guys were eating on SoundClick. So I decided to upload my beats through SoundClick, and pay for banner advertisement. And that's when I was paying for banner advertisement, it would shoot me up to the top of the charts. Like for $10, I'll pay $10. Now I look back up there the next day, and then my beat would be #1 for trap. And so I was making a lot of money from that at first. It was SoundClick, but SoundClick got the dying down. I realized that I can't depend on SoundClick my whole life. And I was listening to some of your courses about just like, you want to be driving that traffic to your website and building an email list and stuff like that. So that's what I end up doing. I end up getting my own website. I purchased the automated beat selling software, which was my Flash store at the time. And I threw it on there. I seen some producer actually, like, what I used to do, I used to type in like buy trap beats and look at all of the guys' websites to see who, like, what they actually were doing. And I literally copy it. I see which one was doing the best or what deal looked at the coolest or something like that. I'll probably add one more beat or take like a few less dollars off. And that actually was like working for me at the time.
So you're doing market research, which is real business. Market research, looking at what the competition is doing and trying to make a better offer in order so that way you can, start to sell outside your competition. So that's very good business advice. Now, I know you got your site. Now, how did you, how did you start linking up with these other, or how did these artists, did they find your site? Like, as far as I know, you did a nice deal. I know it was a nice sum of money too, nice deal with the money team. How did they find you? Like, was it on the internet or how did that work?
So remember I told you I was relentlessly spamming people. Like I was going to Twitter, like people would say send beats. I just grabbed the whole collection of emails. You can hold control and press A and it'll select everything on the screen that you have scrolled and read so forth. So I'll scroll to where I'll see a nice amount of emails and hold control A and select it all and then copy it, put in an email extractor program. And I was literally like sending beats out to people. I just put beats from 101 in the subject line, and then I'll put new beats, holla back inside of the message, and then I'll put this 101, and I'll put my name, and I put text don't call, so I made it look personal, even though they didn't know who I was and what I was doing. I tried to like kind of slide through with a personal, simple email, and I actually did that for like every day. I'm not even gonna lie, like email marketing, people don't think that you make money. I still make money off emails to these days. And these same emails. Like I'm in the process of cleaning my list up, but I'm not even gonna lie, those same emails that I was grabbing back in the day, I got me a list, a batch of those saved into a document, and it never fails. Every time I send messages out to those people buy.
And so what you're talking about is list building, basically. Now there's a little bit under, you can't really advocate for, that is spamming, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But essentially it's networking, right? It's finding these people that are somebody that may be able to give you a good deal, real deal, give you some real money. And I talk about that all the time. Like we talked about on networking on Instagram, Instagrams on the gram, one-on-one, where it's like, you try to find those whales, those people that, can get you a real project, put some real money behind a budget. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, like, even if a person, you may not necessarily nowadays, like back then it was more, so now, you scrape a bunch of emails, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you can't do that now.
Yeah. Different time now. You can't do that now. But back then you could now, but obviously, that's what all you knew back then, right? You really didn't know how to list build like you do now, right? Where you give away a free beat, have them sign up. Because
my list clean now.
it looks clean now, but I'm just letting people know, that was something that people did back then. So, now I wouldn't advise doing that because you'll probably get shut down. You know what I'm saying? But it gets shut down quick. But the lesson we can learn from that is you found big fish. So like, even if, let's say I went and I searched right now and I would look for people like A&Rs, people that, work at these maybe independent labels, maybe managers, and I would then just hit them up personally.
Actually, Postman, the person that got me put on the Floyd Mayweather campaign, his name is Pete Rilla. He actually was like the CEO for the record label. Like Floyd just put the money behind it, but Pete Rilla is actually the visionary behind the label. So he's the one that said that I sent I sent my beats to him, and he gave it to Lil James, which was the artist. So it happened from me, like you said, from me giving my music to not the artist himself, but the person, the visionary for the label. And what he did was he said he gave the beats to Lil James, and Lil James rapped on them. From then, they contacted me. They worked out a deal, 1,000 a beat. They flew me out. I've been good with them ever since, though.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So that's support. So you went to, wasn't necessarily just the artist, you went to the person
Man,
that
man.
yeah, the big fish, you know. So then from there, so let's see. So you got your online music, you got your beat site, you kind of, you know, started hitting up artists, you know, you hit up major people. So how did it start falling into, you know, some of these other artists that you were working with, you know, online that they find you online? How did that start to happen? Like, what are some of the tactics you use to start getting some of your other artists, whether it be independent, major, or whatever? What did you start doing as far as marketing? You know,
actually, I reach out to people, direct messages through Facebook, through Instagram. Some people don't respond. A lot of times it'll be through word of mouth from me just doing great music with one artist, and he's friends with the next artist. And like, I think that's how I meet a lot of the artists that I deal with, because 9 times out of 10, when you try to reach out to them yourself, they have some type of celebrity complex or just busy, hard to respond. But it's like, it seems like every time I, you know, work with a hot artist that's buzzing at the time, he's always friends with the other artist that's actually like rising as well. So when I was doing music with James, he actually had other artists at the time like Kid Red, T Grizzy. All of these people was around him at the time because they were all like, I guess, the next breakout artists and stuff like that. So I guess you can say I got a lot of my you know, clientele just off of my existing clientele.
So good. Basically, you being, you know, working with Lil James and the TMT, that kind of put you in doing great music. If the music was trash, obviously people wouldn't want to work with you.
Yeah,
But you know what I mean? So you made sure your craft was there, make sure the beats was banging and the music was dope. And then that made them say, hey man, you know, I like this. I want to work with some of your stuff. And they would hop on your beats, etc. Right?
Yes, like the songs that I made for James were so tight that I remember Fabulous, we were at the club, Fabulous asked to do the remix to the song.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, so and Lil Wayne is actually on this song, so he ended up not letting Fabulous do the remix. He let Lil Wayne do the remix to the song. But Lil Wayne liked the song as well. He gave him 20 bars on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if he paid him or what. It just, to me, it seemed like he really liked the song.
Wow, now that's amazing, man. I mean, just to have those type of credentials, man. You know that speaks volumes. So, you know, let's talk a little bit too. We're gonna get, you know, back on like your internet markets. I know you've done Facebook ads. I know you built lists, you know, clean lists. So we're gonna talk about some of those things too. But I also want to kind of pivot over here for producers. We're all music producers, you know, in terms of like your process for making a banger. And you know, we'll start with, you know, how did you develop your skill? Like, what's your, you know, obviously the first beats you make, you know, aren't going to be that dope, right? But as you keep going, so what's your process for, you know, improving your sound, staying up to date? Because the beats that was selling 7-8 years ago ain't the same beat you know, the same type of beat. So how do you stay current? You know, give us your process for that.
Okay, so all my life I've been good at like emulating and tracing sounds and stuff like that. I think the first when I first found out that I loved music was through like playing Mary Had a Little Lamb by like just hearing the notes and playing them out through the keyboard myself. So I was always good at hearing something and able to like put it, like convert it to the musical keys or just to the program and stuff like that. So what kept me up to date and really on top of my game, I used to listen to the radio, all the hottest songs. If I don't even like them, I'll make sure I love them. I'll make sure I just indoctrinate my mind with the sounds and just figure out, like, I used to go and literally, like, I'll play a song, like a Manny Fresh song, say for instance, he got a certain drum roll, I'll play it, and then I'll like go to my free loops and like find the exact sound or try to make it sound exactly the same so that I can see in my program how does it visually look to do that particular, to make that particular sound happen like that. So like say for instance, even like when I got like, I still liking Zaytoven beats. He has a certain way of doing his piano. So what I did was like, I started trying to play the piano. Like I can't play the piano, but I try to play it in the ways, the styles that he'll play it, so that I can keep my music sounding similar to what's selling today. So I've always been a great emulator. I'm heavily inspired by other producer sounds and the way they do things, and I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I'll listen to somebody a beat, and I might like those kick rolls, and then next thing you know, I'm putting kick rolls in my beats. So I just absorb what's going on, the hottest thing at the time. Mostly mainstream music, though. I stay away from trying to be inspired by underground music. It's like, it seems pointless to me, so, because I'm trying to blow up. So I only listen to mainstream music, the stuff that's top charting, and just keep studying.
Well, actually, that's some real game right there. I think a lot of producers, especially producers, younger producers, they don't really understand that philosophy you just dropped there. First of all, let's break it down, man. You said you study. So I always tell producers, the first thing when they come to me for consulting or whatever, and I listen to their music, first thing I say, man, you got to go study, man. Go study the charts. Go study all that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to know what today sounds like. You see what I'm saying? You got to know what today sounds like. That shit that you was listening to when you first started making beats, that shit is out the window probably by now if you've been doing it for a few years, right? So you don't want your beats to still be stuck there. So you got to continuously. And then another thing you said, that's a secret that a lot of young producers don't know, is you listen to something that's newer and you don't know how to do it. So first thing I do, it's just funny that we're similar in that. I go, okay, let me try to recreate that. So whether it be like I'm hearing vocal chops, I'm hearing the way they doing an 808, I'm hearing that type of shit. I'm like, okay, I got to go recreate that because I got to know how to do that. Even if I don't use it, I need it in my arsenal.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because I think a lot of producers mistake being creative. They feel like, well, I want my own sound, I want to be creative. They don't understand, like, well, the way a sound is created is when you're taking from all these other different producers, other sounds, and then it's like your own gumbo, like, right? So you may use the 808s, may sound like, I learned this trick from Mike Will, then they may say, okay, well, I learned this, I learned how to do these claps, like kind of like from how Mustard do them. And I listened to Pharrell. I was heavily influenced by Pharrell and DJ Battlecat because I studied under Battlecat. So, of course, like I want to know, okay, how is Pharrell, especially when I was starting out, or
drums and these natural swings.
Yeah. Now, I remember one day I was listening to an interview from Pharrell. This is back in the day, and he said, man, I love using those major seventh chords on my beats. So first thing I did was let me go look up major seven. I need to go find major seven chords. What is he doing? You know what I'm saying? So all I did at that point was do major seven chords. Because once I heard that, I said, oh, that's what he's doing. So I was starting doing major. See what I'm saying? So I just wanted the producers to know, like, yo, that's how you improve the sound to that level where, because ultimately, one-on-one, maybe you could talk about this, beats, I always say, the marketing gets people there, right? Like marketing gets people there. Like, so I teach people to market and all that kind of stuff, producers. But the beat ultimately got to sell itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't convince you to buy a beat if the shit is trash. No matter how much talking I do, no matter how much, if the person don't feel it and they don't like, oh, I need that, then they ain't gonna buy it. And you know what I'm saying? And vice versa, if they love it, they'll drop the money on it quick. You know what I'm saying? They can't live without it. Like, yo, I need that. Like, whatever I gotta do, I spend my last check to get that beat. That's how powerful the music is. Maybe you could speak to, your experiences with that.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I've been in times where, like, man, people man, it's so many stories I can tell you, man. We could be sitting here for hours. Like, for real. So basically what did you want me to
So touch on like the sound, like when people, artists come to your let's say your beat side, or artists come to you, how important is it that, the beat, the actual quality of the beat is something that they would, as far as to get them to spend money?
Oh yeah, because honestly, like they when they come to your site, right? They got fans and they got people that they're trying to impress, because that's why they do music in the first place and stuff. I mean, not everybody, but that's most of the time. That's what it is. They doing this to get, the approval from other people. So when they first get to your site, you definitely want to have your hits up there at the top, because if they play that music and they see that the quality ain't right, or oh man, it is not structured properly or stuff like that, they not gonna want to deal with you. So the thing about it is, it have been times where I have my latest beats at the top of my website and I don't get no sales. But the thing about it is, I'll move a beat that sold, like one of my top selling beats, every time I move it back up to the top, it seems like the conversions on my site go up. I'm not sure why, but I guess it's because that people love that beat, and I guess they feel like it's a better introduction to my brand than just putting the hottest beats at the top.
Yeah, well, the way it is, the way I say is like people vote with their dollars, man. For the producer, it's like a hit record. You know what I'm saying? It's like for us, we love all of our beats. So the latest one we did, it was like, oh, because it's fresh. So we like, yo, this is nasty. Like, they gonna love this. Yeah. But ultimately, you know, it could be a beat you made 2 years ago that it just is something about it. You know, just like a song that's a hit record, it's just something about it that's like, it grabs them. You know what I'm saying? So that beat, even though it could have been made 2 years ago, it's grabbing people. And so that's why when you put it back at the top, it sells. And one that you may feel like, yo, this one is better, like it's banging, I see it doing bigger things, it just don't grab them, like, you know what I'm saying, for some reason, that particular. And a lot of times as producers, we're not gonna know which one it is, simply because all of our beats pretty much, we gonna feel like that too. You know, we made them. So, you know, and we sick of hearing that shit, because we heard it when we made it, we looped it up 1,000 times. So a lot of times we sick of hearing that beat, and we assume that everybody else is sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We feel like, man, that shit is played out. But to somebody new, they don't know that you made the beat 2 years ago. It's new to them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So and also, before we get off like making the beat, you know, I want to kind of get, you know, how do you, like for you right now, how do you know like what's, I know you say the Billboard, but like, you know, what do you do to keep current in terms of what's selling right now? Do you look and see what's selling? You know, what type of beats are you making? What is selling? Like what should a producer right now, like they're like, okay, look, I'm trying to update my sound. What should they be using in their beats? What have you found right now is that shit?
This is what I do. I go to like SoundClick, or I go to Urbit, because that's where I sell my beats at. And then I go like to the top charts to see actually what's selling. And then on top of that, they also have a bar on the side that says like top producers. So I actually go and look up all of the producers. I play a few of their beats and see what's probably selling about theirs that I could add and put into what I got going on as well. So like what keeps me current is actually just going to the charts and sorting it by what's selling. I also go to YouTube, sometimes type in trap type beat, and because I want to dominate the trap market, so I'm typing in trap beats and stuff like that. Actually, just listening. I'm always listening to other people's music as well. Like I try. A lot of people say that I don't want to listen to people's music. Like I'm always listening to other people's music, because I'm always hearing something that I'm not doing what I got going on. That's probably something that I would like to do.
So what are you doing right now? Like, what do you think? What is it like? What are you doing for your drums? Like, what are you doing right now? Like, what sound are you going with right now? Like piano?
Oh yeah. I'm on my Metro Boomin type of vibe right now. He my boy Chop Squad, he actually is signed under Metro Boomin. Metro Boomin has a label, and they sent me their drum pack. They got a drum pack called the Boominati Kit. So I've been actually making a lot of beats using the Boominati drums, which are like inspired by Future Metro type of songs. I'm really big on like the kick rolls right now. I think TM88 made that popular by working with like Lil Uzi and stuff like that. So sometimes I might listen to Lil Uzi or type in, you know, TM88 to see what type of new things he's adding inside of his production and stuff like that. Just staying current. I also get my pianos though. I always put pianos in my music. I try to play stuff handmade now. I think that's probably what's gonna separate me. A lot of producers just clicking and programming out their mind. Not saying it's not good, because I've done it a lot of times and made great beats, but I just feel like what's gonna set me apart in these new years is actually using my hands to play notes naturally with the piano to keep a more original swing to the production. So you know it's coming from me.
Yeah. That's a fact, man. That's actually one of the things that I've been telling people, producers, for a while now. It's like, yeah, clicking is great. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I've seen producers click in some, and then shit you can do with clicking that you can't do with your hands, right? Naturally, so everyone has an advantage, but the advantage to playing stuff is that you can have your natural swing that you can't do with clicking, because it's things that you can do with your finger that you just can't do with clicking precisely on the. Now they got like the stuff that I try to aggregate the swing and stuff like that, but it's still not your personal. Because like me being a piano, I started as a pianist, you know what I mean, like a classical pianist. So when I hear Beethoven or I hear Chopin, I hear these different, that's what I studied, that's what I was playing, so I could hear the difference. They have different cadences, different styles, so you can immediately hear. So when you play the keys, so that's why you can hear Pharrell on the keys, or when I was with Battle Cat, you can't click that shit in. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna click in what they doing because that's their vibe. Like you can't click in what Postman do. I can't click in what you do, and you can't click it in yourself because it's naturally coming from the spirit. So I think there's advantages to both. You want to, I can't click shit in though. I'm too old school, right? I'm old school as shit. I don't know how y'all do that shit. I be watching the video. I'm like, how do y'all click this shit in there like that? That's an art form in itself. I know the older cats hate it like that ain't, but to me, I love it. Well, I don't know how in the hell you can click in. Like I've seen you do it. I've seen one of your beats because you did for like. I'm like, how the hell do you just click in and that shit a chord? I'm confused, man. So I love seeing like the new shit that y'all be doing with all that, but it doesn't, it doesn't take the place of being able to get in there and do your own chords. It's something that you want to do in addition to it.
Yeah. Another thing too, what helped me is learning like music theory. Like I didn't really learn music theory, but like through like seeing certain YouTube videos, they like teach me like how far apart my hands should be, my fingers should be spaced if I want to get certain chords off. Like I actually don't know how to play the piano, but I do know how chords should be structured, whether it's a major or minor and stuff like that. So I think that do help me too when it comes to making beats.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, man. Most piano players suck at making beats. Now, I know my piano players out there, and they're mad at me. But it's true, man. Anybody, it's really hard for keyboarders because they tend to they like the melodies so much. That's what they love to do, that the drums are usually thin, the bass is terrible. And not all of them, because there's some nasty, like my man Kev, but he'll tell you, like, most of the time, if you're good at playing keys, your beats probably aren't that good. Now that's in general. Like, of course, there's some producers that are just dope with keys and they dope. But in general, what I find is that you have, like, even for me, it was hard. I had to like slow down on the melodies and be like, okay, let me focus on the drums and the bass, even though I'm a melody guy. You know what I'm saying? I love to get on the keyboard, but it's like that, the beats is not about that. It's about that swing, that vibe, that bang. You know what I mean? Like, as far as how do you get your like what do you do? I know you got you got a lot of good 808 shit basses, man. Like, how do you keep it to that?
All right, so what really get my 808s good, really, I first of all, I find a good one off the bat. Like I make sure that it really have a certain type of knock in it before I even put it inside the beat. But what actually do help it a little bit sometimes is like maybe blood overdrive, a little bit of distortion, maybe cut the mixing down a little bit on it so where it's not just fully distorted out. Most of the time though, honestly, what I do to make my 808 stand out is layer on with kicks. I'm not even gonna lie, I may cut the 808 down just a tad bit so that the kick can really stand out and really sound like it's knocking. But that's just the illusion of the range from the kick and the 808s. You know what I'm saying?
So layer the kick so it gets it still has that knock to it, but then it has that boom from the 808. Yeah. A lot of producers, I think that they missed out on that part. They just put the 808s on there without.
Yeah, they don't add kicks to their beats.
Yeah,
it's like they use the 808s as if they were kicks as well, but that's where you losing your punch at. I had to realize that years ago. Like, man, I once I start putting 808, kicks on top of my 808, my beats sound so different. Impact them, they sound way more intense. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Find a good 808 though. You just can't. A good kick, because you just can't use any type of kick. If you try to use like a real kick drum sounding kick with like a trap 808 bass, it's not gonna sound right. So you gotta kind of find like a kick that got a fast attack, a hard punch. and like fast release on it, you know, so you can put it on the 808. And I guarantee it's gonna sound very good.
Something. Okay. So you know, we're gonna wrap up soon, man. I know we've been for a minute, but just real quick, you know, as far as like what other, you know, as far as you know, online marketing, I know you do like Facebook. I know you get, you know, so you know, how do you do like your Facebook ads and stuff like that? 'Cause I know a lot of producers, you know, they're trying to find other avenues of promoting and running ads and stuff like that.
It's easy. So this is what I do. All the videos you got, I know a lot of producers got YouTube pages now, and they put their videos on YouTube. And you actually, it's websites that you can like take your YouTube video and convert it into like a clip that's formatted for Instagram or Facebook or something. It's called tubetogram.com. So I'll take my YouTube video and tubetogram it, and it'll change it into like a square 1 minute clip, which I then use that and go to my Facebook ad manager. I'll upload that video into my ads manager. Like it's a database of videos and files that you can use to advertise for. So that's what I do. I get the beats off YouTube and I upload them through my Facebook media library and the ads manager and stuff like that. So you know, just simple targeting, rap artists, you know, all around the world, maybe I say like a lot of times 18 through 35, stuff like that. You know, it's really the targeting. And then on top of that too, I run like I don't like when I put my targeting down, I run a different campaign for different targeting. Like if I'm gonna do something for like, let's say, I'll do a campaign just and put hip hop and target rap artists that's interested in hip hop. Then I'll create another campaign where, let's say, rap artists interested in Gucci Mane, and just create different campaigns to actually see what works. I'll run like 5 campaigns at the same time on the same day at the same time. Give them all a $5 ad budget, $5 a day ad budget, and then I'll come back the next day and then I'll see like, oh, I got the cheapest click on those. So I cut the rest of them off, and then I hone in on that one. That's been working good for me. You know, it could get expensive too because you kind of like if you advertise like 5 different beats and none of them convert, and only one gets you a low pay-per-click. You just kind of spent $20 to figure that out, or $25 to figure it out. So you gotta think about that.
But that's a good strategy. Well, you know, advertising, you got to pay to play, you know, but that's how you can get out there fast. You know what I'm saying, is by putting that ads out. And that's actually a good tactic. You know, what he's talking about, for those of you who don't use Facebook, you probably heard him like, well, Facebook, Instagram, which one are you doing? When you run Instagram ads, it's through Facebook because Facebook owns Instagram. So you use the Facebook platform. And he's taking a video of, and I would suggest find the beats that already been selling, right, that you've already sold, that if you're doing YouTube advertising or you're doing YouTube organic, the beats that people are liking the most and that are getting a lot of views and people are buying, take that video and run the ad on it, you know? And so what I think a lot of producers mistakenly do that I see when they're running ads is they just take beats that they like or they think, but I always go with data. Like, okay, if I've been selling this beat, that's the one I'm gonna put the money behind, right? Just like an artist, if you got a hit single, you test different songs in the marketplace locally, and this one is taking off. Okay, let's put the money behind this single because this is the one that's working. That's essentially what you're saying you do, right? You test 5 different ones at small, tiny budgets, you know, and then you see which one is hitting. You know, you're getting good clicks, right? You get some sales on it, and then that's the one you start putting your money behind. So you see what I mean? So that's a good formula for advertising. And, you know, a lot of producers, quite frankly, I believe it's wide open to advertise because a lot of producers are scared to advertise. They don't really know how to advertise.
Any producer watch this, go advertise right now. That's why your business ain't growing the way it needs to go. You get advertise. You think organic's gonna change it all. I mean, not saying that it won't, but if you really want to speed the process up, put some money in this ad budget and just watch it, man. You're gonna see, you're like, yeah, I got all these visitors to my site. I'm making conversions and stuff like that. Make sure you get your pixels and stuff right to know that these people actually converting, and you can see your numbers and stuff. Track. That's what it is.
Tracking, yeah, track. We always talk about tracking, man. But yeah, one-on-one. I definitely thank you for the interview, man, and looking forward to even doing more with you, man. Just being a regular. I know you're doing some things for the channel, man. I think to the young producers out there, you're inspiration. And a lot of times, when it's you doing it, you may not feel like you're as far. You're like, man, but I'm not as far as I want to be, right? Like you see yourself, you're like, man, I haven't done what I want to do yet. I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But to us, we see I look at it as the progress, like from where you were to where you are now. I mean, that's amazing. I think it's a very inspiring story to producers who are right now where you were, or even where you're at now. I mean, you've had some amazing experiences as a producer, and you just getting started, man. To me, it's like, you still, that's why I love it. It's not athletics where, your career is over at 32, right? 33, and you can't play. Like you could literally be making music and being a producer for the next 30 years.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I mean? Next 40 years, no retire. Quincy Jones still doing this thing, and he's like 85 years old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I just want to thank you, man, for doing this, and I'm proud, man, to see you. Seeing, starting with, I know you started with Liveoffbeats a while back, man, and then just seeing the progress, and going through everything. And, another thing I wanted to, just touch on for producers, for you, like a lot of, young producers and their parents too, they're like, is this real? They see Liveoffbeats, they hear me on here talking about it. They like, oh, is he just trying to sell me product? They feel like, is it realistic that you could go from, sitting in your basement, and having this dream to coming online, building an empire, working and doing stuff, starting from scratch? Do you feel like it's possible? And have you seen that, this stuff actually works?
Yes, it definitely does. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like when 2014 and stuff, I was making minimum wage working for a nursing home, cleaning poop off the ground and stuff like that. And now it's like I don't have no financial problems, and it's solely off of music. Like I don't have a worry about how I'm gonna pay a bill, where I'm gonna eat, smoke, where I'm gonna go and chill. And it's solely off of music. Like I'm truly free, man. Not gonna say like where I ain't gotta keep making these, but like I ain't gotta I'm not obligated to do certain things. So I'm very grateful for that. And it's all solely through the knowledge that you gave me on how to sell beats online and how to ultimately change my mindset to see life in an abundance point of view, to where I can, capitalize off all the opportunities that the universe is giving me and stuff like that. So it definitely is. What it is though, some people that might not see it because they brain is still skeptical, and like how you talk about all the time about people having scarcity mindsets and stuff like that. And I think that once you get over that and really start to see the possibilities and stuff, is destined to happen for you. I think that's what holds a lot of people back, is their skepticism. Like you already skeptical about it, like you putting the wrong energy into it. And I think I was like that at first, but once I really started listening and honing into everything, every time I used to come back and listen to what you were saying, I would just get further and further. And I realized, like, this is what I need to be doing. This is it.
That's amazing, man. So any last things that you want to say to the producer community out there, man? This isn't the last time they're going to hear from you, but just anything, if it's words of encouragement, if it's just anything that's on your heart, man, if you want to speak to the community.
To show love to everybody around you. Do good. Make great music, man. Trying to be all Hollywood with the artists that you're dealing with, man. Have genuine, real relationships with them, because at the end of the day, man, that's what you want. You want to express your music too, but at the end of the day, you want to be around people that you have good times with, believe in, and stuff. It's deeper than money. Once you start to get the money, you realize that, like, dang, I want more things besides. So just try not to get too caught up over the financial aspect, because truth be told, like, you're going to want other things to come from that. You're going to want to work with artists you believe in. You're not going to want a whole bunch of whack rappers just giving you money to rap on your beats. You might have your financial goals met, but you might not be satisfied on the inside, because you're working and doing things for people that you honestly don't believe in. So I just believe in what you do, love what you do, stay positive. Love is the answer. Keep listening to Postman. Because he gonna take you where you need to be. I'm telling you, I'm good. I got mats and all type of stuff. I had none of this. I was sleeping on the ground on the pallet. Got my own crib and everything now. The bills paid for, all that. I'm good. I see the growth and predict the future, and it's all off Postman. So keep listening to Postman. Stay focused, man. Stop trying to listen to everybody else. Focus, man. And it's our mentor. Keep listening to him. He gonna take you where you need to go.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. Hey, man, you heard the word. You heard it from my man himself, 101. Like I said, it's gonna be one of the biggest out there. Y'all take my word for it. You give him the next 3 years, he's gonna be one of the biggest in the game, man. Just off of his dedication, his work ethic, his music is banging. You know what I'm saying? And he don't never stop growing, man. So that's the key. You know what I'm saying? You never stop, you never settle, and you keep growing. You keep making that banging music. Keep your stuff current. And trust me, it's inevitable that you're going to grow. I think a lot of times we feel like I'm stuck, you know what I'm saying? But just keep going and you'll see. We all got shit we go through. We all feel like sometimes, man, we ain't moving fast enough. But you just keep going, man. And you'll see. You'll look up and be like, damn, I actually made it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna feel it too long because you're going to be seeing how far you still got to go because you got these dreams, you know. But you know what I'm saying? One-on-one, like you know what I mean? You looking ahead to where you trying to go like, hey, man, I'm trying to get there. But I know the community appreciates you, man. And I know the feedback from this is going to be insane. They're going to be like, yo, really appreciate, you know, seeing someone go from, you know, really from nothing to something, man. You know what I'm saying? You went from nothing to something and using just your brain, using these two hands, using the gifts God gave you, man. And I know that you're going to prosper even more because you're staying in your profit center and doing the path that you've been led to do. Now, if you would have still been at the nursing home, you'd have been trying to figure out what's going on. It ain't working for me. You know what I'm saying? But you followed the path, and that's the key, man. You followed here and you followed your destiny, man. I'm excited, man. I'm proud, man, to see the growth. And I know the producers, like I said, man, they gonna love you, man. They gonna love your story. I'm gonna make sure I get it out as far as possible. Any labels out there, anybody listening, I need to be hitting them up now, man. Getting your arms around them, you know, hitting them up, big deals. I need to be getting him, man. He got a hell of a catalog. How many beats in your catalog, man? I want them to see the work. I don't. Sometimes cats can come to you with 20. I want them to know your work ethic, man. You're not just playing around in your studio. Well, how many beats you got in your catalog?
I have over 3,000 beats in my catalog.
Come on now, man. Then listen.
3,000, probably 3,600 to be exact. I just looked at it.
3,600 beats. That means he in there working, man. He ain't just, you know, doing one beat a week. He put his time and dedication into it. So I wanted to make sure they understood that, you know what I'm saying? Because even online, I know you got a big ass catalog online. I'm like, God damn, boy, you got hella beats on it. And you probably use half of Airbit's bandwidth just on your goddamn player, man. They like,
that's one of my goals, to take up most of the market share. Like, really, I think I'm gonna use, like, my brand. We're gonna dominate the marketplace with the beats to get the most market share.
Yeah, man, I see it, man. I see it, man. Well, man, good blessings to you, man. Have the rest of your day, man. I know we kept you on here for about an hour, man, but man, the content has been valuable. Community's gonna love this, man. So appreciate it, man. I'll catch you. We'll talk some more, man. Y'all look out for this, man. I'm telling you, he's gonna be the next big thing. So follow him, hit him up. You know what I'm saying, and network with him, connect with him. He's gonna be the next biggest thing in the industry. Now I'm telling y'all that, and y'all gonna see it happen in no manner of time. All right. All right. So peace out, man.